Amphitheatres were open-air venues used for entertainment, performances, and sports. The most popular event was the gladiatorial games. They would be filled with Romans cheering as they witnessed gladiators slashing and thrusting at each other until a winner was decided. It was a bloodbath, especially for those who would fight wild beasts. However, not many people know of a far more brutal entertainment which would amass huge attention. The Naumachia, meaning naval battle, was a mimic sea battle constructed and played out in basins on flooded amphitheatres. It was a spectacle many ancient Romans wanted to see, as they happened so rarely due to the difficult effort of hosting it. The first known Naumachia was ordered by Julius Caesar in 46 BC on occasion of his quadruple triumph. 2,000 combatants and 4,000 rowers, all who were prisoners of war, fought to death in a basin near the Tiber. A much grander spectacle was held in 2 BC after the inauguration of the Temple of Mars altar. Augustus would hold a Naumachia in a basin that stretched approximately 522 by 355 meters. However, it did not mimic naval combat greatly, as the basin dug out was not big enough for the 30 trireme vessels, which were approximately 35 by 4.9 meters in size, minimizing the ability for the vessels to maneuver. The event depicted the Greeks and Persians battling out with 3,000 combatants, not counting rowers, fighting on 30 vessels with rams and several smaller boats. However, the most epic Naumachia was hosted by Claudius in 52 AD, which saw 100 ships and 19,000 combatants fighting on the Fucine Lake, giving them extra space to maneuver the boats. The famous phrase, Ave Imperator, morituri te salutuant, those who are about to die salute you, is quoted from Suetonius' account of the event. However, there is no evidence that this form of address was used on any occasion other than the single Naumachia. In the reign of Nero, the Naumachias were performed in an amphitheatre. One spectacle took place in 57 AD in a wooden amphitheatre built in the Campus Martius, while the 64 AD Naumachia was preceded by hunts and followed by gladiatorial combat and a great banquet. For the inauguration of the Colosseum, the biggest and greatest amphitheatre, Titus gave 2 Naumachii, one in the Augustinian basin, again using several thousand men, and the other in the new amphitheatre. The last emperor to host a Naumachia was Domitian, who organized one in the Colosseum in 85 AD, and another in the year 89 AD in a new basin dug beyond the Tiber, with its stone removed serving to repair the Circus Maximus, which had burnt on 2 sides. After the Flavian dynasty, Naumachias disappeared from the text almost completely, except for a town record of Ostia, which tells us that in 109 AD, Trajan inaugurated the Naumachia basin. It was discovered in the 18th century on the grounds of the Vatican City, northwest of the Sant'Angelo. It is now referred to as the Naumachia Vaticana. It was a rectangular structure with round internal and external corners, 120 meters wide and at least 300 meters long. One of the interesting aspects of the Naumachia is how the mechanism of flooding the amphitheatres worked. They were not used exclusively for mimic naval battles, and instead had other thrilling spectacles on land. As such, rapid transition from sea to land was necessary. The engineering involved in the mechanism can only be found in 2 provincial amphitheatres at Verona and Merida, Spain. The central pit at the amphitheatre at Verona was deeper than the rooms normally found underneath the arena, which served as a basin. It was connected to 2 axial conduits. One circulating under the west gallery of the arena was not connected to the drainage system, instead was connected to an aqueduct in order to fill the basin. The east conduit was deeper and designed to drain water in the Adige River. The basin at the Merida amphitheatre, at only 1.5 meters, was shallower than that at Verona. Because it was so shallow, less than the height of a standard man, it could not be confused with an underground service room. This basin was equipped with access stairs and covered with material similar to that used for swimming pools and Roman baths. It was also served by 2 conduits, the western one of which connected to the nearby San Lazzaro aqueduct. The dimensions of the basins rule out any but the most basic of Naumachia. The one at Merida measures a mere 18.5 by 3.7 meters. Only the most modest of water spectacles could have taken place here. This leads one to conclude that even assuming that the Colosseum had a similar basin before construction of the Hypogeum underground complex, Naumachia would have been performed on only a shallow layer of water covering the surface of the arena, the minimum required to float the ships. Although the Naumachia was held a few times, it was influential enough to be added as a competitive event in the Panathinaik Games under the name Naumachia, and being certainly less bloody, replacing the regattas which had been taking place at these games earlier. The spectacle was also ingrained into Roman art, of which all were made in the Pompeian styles at the time of Nero and the Flavian dynasty. Living during the times of Naumachus was certainly thrilling for the Romans. Unless you were a slave, then well, you know how it ends. Goodbye.